years. Mind you, I speak at graduations in Philadelphia all the time.
You there, Vogel? Think he might have froze.
Mm.
And can I pull this down? Vogel, yeah?
When can the three of us have a sit down? I'm ready for this. When can Mama Smurf, Papa Smurf, and Baby Smurf have a sit down? Oh, I'm ready for this. And I will have my white man paperwork. When can we do the sit down? When can we do the sit down? Been paying child support since you damn near came out the womb. Deadbeat who? When can we have a sit down? Child support started, you wasn't even out your mama yet, and she took me to child support. Deadbeat who? Child custody file this thick. What are we talking about? Where is Mama Smurf? What is your mama's Instagram? We want to ask her some questions. Where's your mama's face? Where is the mother? And none of y'all asking no questions.
Lord have mercy.
All right. So the question I'll pose first, do y'all think Dr. Umar was, do y'all think he should have responded publicly to his 22-year-old daughter outing him on social media?
Go ahead. My bad.
Oh, no, you got it. You go.
Okay. I'm going to say yes, because if he probably texts her or call her, she probably wouldn't respond. If he even have her information, I don't know like everything about the story, but I did see that she was outing him and everything like that. So attacking publicly, once she did it, I felt like I gave him the right to do it.
You oversaw?
Yeah, I agree. I think the days of just being silent and letting yourself get dragged through the mud are over. Unless you're in an active case or something where you literally can't speak on it, then yeah. Or if it's like a small child, and even then, depending on what's being said, sometimes you need to come out and say something to get in front of the narrative. But this is a grown young lady, and he's a public figure. Like, she's stepping into his space. So I think, I don't think he did anything wrong.
Easy.
Yeah, I never knew this about Dr. Umar. This is kind of interesting. I'm kind of startled by it still, man. Like, I can't get over it. But yeah.
You was a Dr. Umar fan?
I mean, not necessarily. You know what I'm saying? But I do like. I've seen some of his videos. I mean, just like anybody else, I agree with some of his stuff. I don't agree with everything he say. But I mean, he seems like a good dude, and he is a star. So, but I think it's kind of weird that they're actually saying something now that you're grown, though. You know what I'm saying? Why didn't you do this earlier when you were younger? You know what I'm saying? Like, I think everybody want to go viral. Everybody got this want to be viral disease. Everybody want to be viral. So I don't know.
Yeah, my personal take from it is she's trying to gain off of her father, which I think is very disrespectful. That's just my personal opinion, is that she's trying to get a come up. Yeah, because that's the thing now. Play victim. Especially if you play victim against a man, a black man at that, and then a black man who kind of goes against the system. To play against him, the society's gonna jump. They're gonna jump behind her quick, especially the black woman hive.
Or maybe she's speaking out because she tried to reach out, and this was the only way she could do it. So it's kind of different scenarios. You know what I mean?
Personally, I don't believe that. I just believe in today's time, if you want to get a hold of somebody, you can. And for him to come out, either somebody's lying, she's lying, or he's lying. And for him to say his number has been the same for 20 years and that it's public, if he's not blocking her, then I don't know. I personally think the whole thing is, I believe there's almost a chance where they ain't on it together.
Why we never heard about his daughter though? I never ever heard him talk about his daughter or him having kids at all.
He do.
Oh, he do?
He do. There's a lot of videos where he says stuff about his daughters.
Oh, he got multiple.
Yeah, I think he got 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So he has said stuff. It just doesn't make the headlines like the other stuff, the crazy stuff that he says. And let me see. So do you think, because he says something in here that I agree with and most people don't, and I know I'm gonna get swarmed on for saying this, but I'll let y'all get your opinions first. Do you think if when you co-parent, you split, and then the court assigns you child support, do you think you're a deadbeat if you just do what you're told to do and pay that amount?
Women have used that term for anything. My cousin, his kid lived with him. His baby mama still call him a deadbeat. They'll use that term for anything. I pay child support and I pay for everything else. And my baby mama lived 10, 12 minutes away from me. And she'll use it just because she mad. So like, I just feel like it's like the N word for baby daddies.
Easy.
Nah, deadbeat. That's a word that's thrown around too loosely, man. You never know the actual situation, man, because women are very manipulative, man. You know what I'm saying? They like play games and all kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been through some things, but I'm not gonna speak on it. But tell me, I've been around the block a few times, dog. I just tell you that.
Yobasa.
Yeah, I don't like that word gets thrown around that loosely. I think
Mm,
ultimately it comes down to the relationship between the mother and the father. And I don't have any kids, but pretty much all of my friends do. And thankfully none of them are deadbeats. I know some of them, I got friends that have went and put themselves on child support because the mama she's a dirtbag, and he just trying to make sure that it's on record that he's doing it. He's still doing extra stuff, you know, on the side of that. And sometimes if it's just a bad relationship, sometimes all you can do is just pay the child support, and you just got to
yeah,
stay away from it.
Yeah.
that was my situation. All I could do was pay what you know what I'm saying, because she already took me out of the equation. That's the only thing I'm gonna say about my situation. She took me out of the
Hmm.
equation. I did my job. That's all I can do. So
Hmm.
That's what a lot of women do though. They use the kids as pawns against the guy. Where it's like, okay, I'm not gonna let you see them unless you do X, Y, Z, or they just make it difficult. That's what I deal with my ex. Like she try to control everything with what they do, how they do it, in every way. If I didn't have like my mom and my sister as like a intermediary, like with dealing with her, I probably would never really see my kids because it's always some issues with
hmm
Mhm.
her.
yeah, it's not always the guy's fault. Most of the time, they always try to blame it on the guy, but most of the time it's not. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, the guys be some players or they try and do their thing or whatnot, but most of the time it is the women getting on man's nerves, man, and it does start controversy. And they never want to be accountable ever. They always want to point the other finger to the opposite person. No one want to take accountability, bro.
Yeah.
So then that's when it gets blamed on the guy.
Yeah. I personally believe if you paying what you're supposed to pay every month, you're not a deadbeat. I think whatever the court, once you take it to the courts, like I'm very like I'm, I'm a stickler. So if we gonna take it to the courts, then I'm gonna do what the court do. If I want to be a part of my daughter's life after the child support, cool. Or whatever agreement we have, and I do. Like my youngest, I go get her, bring her 800 miles. So, but that's because I want to do it. You can't shame me into that. And the reason being is I think today's society, we are glorifying the co-parenting situation. And it's a cop out for people who want to kind of, I don't think people understand what marriage is anymore, right? You got some people who just have kids because they have flings. You got a lot of people who they try to do the right thing, and then some dudes mess up, infidelity. But if you look, you got the 80% initiation divorce rate of women. So you got them initiating 80% of the divorces. I think when you do that and you got kids, that's how it should be, because now you got two households. The man got to have a household. The woman has a household. She got to work. The man got to work. So now he's essentially paying for two households. So what I tell women now is pick your poison. You can't have your cake and eat it too. So if you're expecting to split up, stop pushing this co-parent stuff. I tell any man, you decide what you want to do. Do what
Yeah.
do your legal obligation. And if you don't want none, if they split and they not under your provision and you don't want nothing to do with that kid, I don't see nothing wrong with that, honestly. If you just pay your amount and you didn't cause it, now if you cause it, maybe you owe something. But if you didn't cause it, she just divorced because she was bored and wanted to get back to the streets. Nah, I have no feelings towards that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I got divorced in 2014, so after that, it wasn't that bad. Then she went on a rant and did some crazy stuff. You know how they do. So I did my part. I had to so she can't tell me I ain't do my part.
I want to respond to something you said though, Vulgar. I feel like when people are married or in long-term relationships, that's when the co-parenting is difficult because it's like bitter. Y'all were together a long time. I don't feel like people that have one-night stands or flings or wasn't a serious relationship and they have children. I feel like they have a much easier time co-parenting because those emotions aren't there. It's kind of like we met in a club. I got pregnant. We just raising a baby together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that child support be there though.
That's what it's always going to be.
Yeah. Unless you got a
What it
crew,
boils
it ain't too many of those.
what it boils down to is relationship need to be based on loyalty. Relationships are not based on loyalty anymore. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
I want to play this last video of Umar's daughter claiming that Umar was abusive. Like, this to me is like the nail in the coffin.
Yeah. Hate him too? Of course you do. Because he put his fucking hands on me. What the fuck is wrong with him? He should be in fucking jail. Like, really, he should be in jail. Like, I'm not even joking with y'all right now. It's a lot about him that y'all don't know. He's a crazy, sick man. How long was they together? I don't know. They met in college. I don't know how long they was together, but he was with his other child. He was with her mom for 5 years. That's what she told me over the phone. But I don't know how long him and my mom was together. So he's a woman abuser? Yes, he is. And a liar and a hypocrite. Yeah, all those things. Yeah, she left him. And then this man got on the internet and said, my mom wanted to marry him. That's a lie. That's a lie. Why would my mom want to marry somebody that put his fucking hands on her? This man is a fucking liar. And I can't stand him.
Gray.
I feel like some of this stuff should definitely be family business. Should definitely not be put out in the streets. It's kind of reminding me like what Lil Boosie was going through with his daughter because she's gay or whatever, and they was going back and forth, and then they said they weren't gonna put anything in the public eye. I do feel like she's trying to tarnish Dr. Umar's image because he's built such a clean guy, pro-black, I'm the ultimate black man image, and now she's trying to say he beat women. So I don't think it's a good look for him.
Yo, what's up?
Yeah, I think it's a slippery slope, when you just start trying to throw mud on somebody's name. Um, and it's never been heard before. We never heard any allegations like this before. If he was just a woman beater like that, then I'm pretty sure it would have been different allegations or something would have came out. Maybe her mom and him got into a real bad argument or something. And, who knows? Maybe she got violent with him. Maybe he did. None of us could say what it was, but I just, like you said, I think if it really is an issue, it needs to get handled in the family, especially if it was something that probably happened before she was born or, shortly after. If it's nothing new and she's just kind of coming out to tarnish his image because she mad, that's fucked up.
Easy.
I think it's crazy because honestly, social media is a dangerous tool. I mean, honestly, it's almost like she's incriminating herself on camera because what if she caused it? You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. People need to think before they start posting shit on social media.
You think he'd be wrong to sue her?
That's what I'm telling you, bro. People think social media, bro. Everything is not for everybody. You can't post everything on social media, dog. New cops looking at that damn video. Like, man, people need to start thinking, bro. I swear.
But I think that's the mother talking, like Anthony said.
Yeah.
I think that's creating broken homes too. Just that mentality of
Mm-hmm.
her having that, the mother. Like, the one thing I will say about both of the mothers of my kids, they never talk bad. Like, them growing up, there was a situation a few years ago which I had to block my oldest mom, and we haven't really talked since we seen each other a couple times. I had to take my daughter back to college, but that was like the only time she really went in. It was just because she couldn't ride with us to take her 2 hours to college. So she pretty
Mm-hmm.
much just let out. But before that, she never really spoke bad. Like, it was always good things. So my kids have pretty much seen me in a good light, even though we don't have the closest relationship. I think any father that's not in the home with his kids is going to be a distant relationship, no matter how much you try. But I will say that. But I think that's one thing that need to be pushed. Courts do push that. There are some courts where if they find out you're talking bad about either parent, you can be punished for it.
Yeah. It's crazy because a lot of times the parent just venting, and the kids get caught in the middle. I remember my little cousin told me the worst day of his life was when his parents got divorced. So I mean, like, it has a major impact on children. Um, Sometimes the parents are just emotional, or sometimes they're not even talking that directly to the kid. They're just talking to people, and the kid hears it. It's like, oh, my dad did this, or my dad did that. So yeah, man, is the kids are the people, are the real victims in these situations.
Hmm.
That's what I'm saying, man. Because people, I mean, everybody's watching social media. Imagine this kid going to school like, "Yo, I see your mama on social media talking about your problems in the house." It's like now he getting bullied and stuff. So it starts a whole nother issue.
But maybe she
So
crying out for help. She's seeing Dr. Umar talking about all these black women and how all this positive stuff, and then she like, you say all this positive stuff for all these people, but you don't talk to me.
And maybe,
But
yeah.
you,
maybe he just don't like his daughter. Maybe she was a bad kid, and he don't get along with her mama. Maybe she, I know this is probably taboo, but maybe for most of the time she was riding with her mama and she was disrespectful, and he just stopped fucking with them because she was disrespectful. And
Hmm.
now she lashing out. I'm just saying that could be one thing. Sometimes you got to walk away from a situation if it's not healthy for you.
Yeah.
yeah, and you could tell just how she's talking in these videos that she has no type of respect. The fact that she's even on the internet talking about her dad, to me, had like she has no respect. It's a Bible verse. It basically say if you disrespect your parents, you bring unaliving to yourself. Have you heard of that?
Yeah, I think I heard
Like,
that.
Yeah,
yeah, the
some
Bible.
something on there.
Let me see.
I think they say you cut your life short, like you cutting the life shorter or something.
Yeah. Yeah. For God said, honor your father and mother, and anyone who curses their father or mother is to be put to death. That's the verse.
Mm.
Like it's you should not talk bad. Like my father was an alcoholic. Never really reached out. I always had to reach out to him anytime I would come home from Atlanta. Like he pretty much was along the way. So he'd be like 30 miles from where I would stop. I would always stop and see him. Even though like I would go over there some weekends, and most of the weekends I was there, he'd be drunk. And then, he had cancer, and this is in 22, and he pretty much couldn't do anything. Like he couldn't use the bathroom by himself or nothing. And I would drive up from Nashville, as I was working there at the time. I would drive up from Nashville and like relieve my sisters for taking care of him. Like I literally had to hold this dude up to use the bathroom, like the nastiest crap ever. But because I respect my parents, like he didn't have to do nothing. I forgave him. And I think that's what a lot of people aren't doing, is you have to forgive to stop the cycle. So like I don't hold nothing against my father. Actually, we hung out, we talked, because he came back. He came back around. He was fully aware for about 2 days. So we went to the casino and just talked it out, because we had never really talked before. We went fishing a couple of times. That was it. But I'm glad I got that closure. But I never disrespected my father or my mother, because my mother wasn't there either. She was mentally disabled. But I never disrespected them ever.
Wow, that's some deep stories, Walter.
Yeah.
I never met my biological father, but I did have somebody who I considered my father. I never really talked down on them. I didn't live with my mother either. I lived at my grandma's house. I got kicked out. I fought her husband. I got kicked out, but we reconnected when I was older. And by the time I lived in my grandma's house, I'm pretty much like grown, so we not on the same wavelength. Like I can't even think about what she talking about at that point. But over time, we did get back closer. Especially like once I went through my divorce. At first, she was on my baby mama side. Then we kind of got closer. So things do happen that may make you be like, "Hey, man, I don't rock with you at all," even though it's your parent. But I would have publicly like went in on her or something like that.
Yeah. Boy, it sounded like the military saved you.
Yeah, I was bad, bro. I was bad. I was bad. I was super bad. I was having a good time though.
Right.
I had a baby in high school, and that made me go to the
Yeah. Yeah, Yobasaw used to get me into some stuff, man.
military.
Me, I man,
I was a good kid. He used to get me into stuff, man.
I wasn't bad. I wasn't bad. You you know what I will say, and this kind of this might be still on topic, but separate person. I was listening to this to the Anthony Edwards thing, and basically how he responded to the girl, and he was mad, saying that she was sick for wanting to have a baby with a man that doesn't want to be in the life. And I think that's it's a conversation that a lot of people don't want to get into and kind of tiptoe around. A lot of the focus is on the man got to be there no matter what. But what if you know from the jump that I don't want to have a baby, or let's say we came into this, agreeing that we weren't going to have a baby, and then you get pregnant, and I don't know, you change your mind because now you're emotional. Um, but I'm still standing on what I started off with. Should should the woman still expect for that man to still be there, or should the man have the right to if he could prove, like, look, like, she knew from the jump, I made it known, and if you choose to have this baby, then you're having a baby. I don't want to be involved with it. What do y'all think about that?
Easy, you go first.
Oh my God. I mean, you gotta stand on business, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want a family and you truly want that Cosby family or whatever you want to call it, or people want to lay it
Mm.
out to be, you got to set the foundation and move forward with what you want and base everything on loyalty and trust. That's the best thing I can say, man. Um, Now some of these chicks play games, and honestly, all relationships are like rolling the dice for real. You know what I'm saying? Every time you invest in somebody, you're taking a gamble. So
I'll let you
Um,
go, Greg, because what I'm my answer to that is gonna be crazy. So go ahead.
well, you guys know I'm a Democrat, so I'm gonna say her body, her choice. Now, do I feel like there maybe should be like some leniency in child support or whatever the government's gonna make you do because you didn't want it? I think that should be like something maybe some laws can get passed. But I mean, me myself, like I'm a product of I don't even know who my daddy is, so I wouldn't exist if people was rocking like that. So a lot of guys do get put in situations where you just out there and then a chick have a baby, but you know it is what it is. I mean, I've been the person that someone had an abortion for me, and I'm like, to this day, I'm like, man, I wonder what that baby would have been like. So that might be one of my conservative kind of, but at the same time, it was just like it wasn't a good situation. So
And sorry, just to clarify,
yeah,
I'm not saying that she should be allowed to have the baby. It's her choice. But if she's
yeah,
going into it knowing that you don't want to be involved with it, then she's choosing to have a baby on her own, and you should be able to. I do think if you make it known from the jump and she knows that she's going into it to the solo, you shouldn't be held to anything. If you it's that's different than if I was in a relationship with a girl and we started off having this baby together and then whatever happens and I just either choose to walk away or we break up, then yeah, we started this together.
You
But
know what?
yeah.
That's logical, right? But you got to understand there's a whole system at play. You have the feminists, which have hijacked the liberal side of Democrats, and there it's an ideology now. So while that seems fair, you have like that's a backup plan, and it's put in place for a lot of women to be able to move how they want, not have to jump into marriage. They can have their careers, and then when they like, hey, I want a kid, they can come up with all the excuses. You hear it all the time. He was abusive. He was this. He was gay. Whatever the excuse is, he cheated. They do these things to escape actually being under a man's rule, and then they can raise the kids on their own. So that will never happen. Why? Because it's profitable. If you think about it, like men making mistakes is profitable. If you mess around and
Mm,
get with the wrong woman and leave now that because you know about child support, Title 4D, and all that, like states get reimbursed. It's a racket now.
mhm.
So you're never going to get those laws. Some states like Tennessee is they doing the paternity fraud thing or whatever, but most states aren't going to pass these type of laws because it would stop stuff like child support. If you start to say, hey, if he chooses at the beginning that he don't want any type of responsibility, a woman could do that and leave it at the fire station, right? But a man, they're
Right.
not going to let a man do it because a man is normally the primary breadwinner. He's the one that hustles, fill in the potholes. He has more sustainable jobs where naturally we are supposed to take care of women, even though they're out here being independent, so called, and doing these things. Men,
Mhm.
we're a more reliable source of income, and that's what these corporations, that's what the government, that's what the United States care about. This is a business, so you're going to have a better business to hold the man responsible. So you're not going to get these type of laws because of that.
I agree with you, folks. I pay
Yeah.
$21 fee every time I pay child support in Florida.
Yeah.
So,
Mm,
yeah,
A lot of people, like I said, I know it sounds logical, but when you start breaking it down and thinking about it like I do, you will understand that men's mistakes are profitable. The United States, the world, corporations, women are all waiting on you to mess up so they can come pull money out of your pockets. My grandfather, when I turned 18, the first thing he told me was, welcome to being an adult. Everybody that you look at, their number one goal is to take your money. He literally told me, he was like, if it's child support, if it's they trying to sell you a car, some weed, whatever it is, they're trying to take your money. So whenever, as a man, when you move, you got to think like that. Who's trying to take my money? And I didn't listen. And now I'm paying child support. If I understood that, I would move different. That's how I move now. I move like everybody's trying to take my money. They don't want me to have it.
He gave you good advice.
Yeah.
Sure.
Protect your neck. Protect your neck, Wu-Tang.
You want to do closing thoughts?
You want to go first, Yobasaw?
Man, I just thank y'all for having me on here, man. You know, we've been talking about doing something for a minute, so I'll be looking forward to coming back on and hopefully getting the ball rolling on some more stuff too. Everybody follow me. I got some content coming soon. So I am Yobasaw on everything. And yeah, lock in with me, I'll lock in with you.
Easy.
Yo, but so I appreciate you coming on the show, man. It was great, man. Gray,
Thank
you already know. Vulgar, you already know.
Oh yeah.
Yo, so I gotta get used to saying your name for sure. I think I messed it up earlier. My bad. But
No, you got it. You got it.
yeah. Appreciate you for coming. It's nice to meet some of Vulgar people. You know, he keep us on our toes over here with all this crazy stuff he say. So yeah, we got another guy, Slim. So I'm glad you showed up because Vulgar said he been boycotting the man cave, but you gotta meet him too. He cool. He a major Trump supporter, love child support. But yeah, my closing thoughts is, guys, let's keep rocking the man cave. It was a good show. I'm glad we talk about child support because I think it affects a lot of men out there. I know it affects black men a lot, and when they talk about it, but I feel like it affects a lot of guys, especially with how high the divorce rate is.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
My closing thoughts. I hope y'all got a lot out of my last sermon on child support and how everybody is waiting. As men, you got to move like that. Everybody is waiting to take advantage of you. And you have to stay in front of that and think about how can you keep your wealth? How can you keep your health? The most important decision that you'll make in your life is the person you choose to be with. I learned that the hard way. And take your time. As a man, you should not be falling in love. You should love. Your love should come through protection, provision, right? And providing, not fairy tale head over heels because you can't move right. That's how you end up on child support. That's how you end up like Xavier Worthy. Who's the other guy that with Colorado?
Travis Hunter?
Yeah, Travis Hunter. You end up like them because you can't think straight. And a lot of the times the flags are there. Even with me, like when I look back, I can see the flags now. So to my young guys, y'all watching this, yeah, watch out for those flags. And the best thing is stay on your purpose. Whatever your goal is, your dreams, plan it out, put it on paper, make it tangible. As long as you stay focused on your goal, you can't go wrong. And you won't fall into things like depression or devaluing yourself where you allow a woman to come in and take advantage of you. Man cave.
Man cave.
Great.
Man cave.
Introducing a new party. We live stream Monday through Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.